guys, what's up? So I'm back with another video. I know I kind of posted this late. It's like, I'm filming this right now and it's 11 o'clock, so who knows when this is gonna be up. But as you see as the title, this is story time. I haven't done a story time in forever, and this is true, and this is just my opinion on why I will never smoke weed again. I mean, I know so many people who smoke weed, so many people who don't. If you don't, then that's cool. If you do, that's cool. It's just my like opinion on it now because I physically cannot smoke weed anymore. So here's the story. Okay, so you guys know, like, if you've seen my like kind of old video about the time I tripped on weed or whatever I titled it, that was absolutely true. To sum it up, if you haven't seen it, I pretty much was in high school, like a sophomore in high school, when I like tried smoking weed, and I thought it was lace probably because I could not see. Like, I literally, like, my hearing started to fade. I felt nauseous, like I was gonna throw up, like, and I couldn't move. I had to sit down. Like, I literally could not even move my arm. Like, I was just stuck. And I don't know, I should have just listened then to not smoke weed again. I don't know, I do stupid shit and whatever. So yeah, at that time I just like, it only, like, when my hearing faded, like, I literally could not see. It was like pitch black, and like my hearing was going out, and I just like felt like I was gonna throw up, and I couldn't move at all. This lasted for about like 2 minutes, maybe a minute. I was just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what's going on with me? So yeah, I should have listened then. I was like a sophomore at that time, so like I smoked a few times after that. I'm not like a pothead or anything. I wasn't like a pothead. I just smoked a couple times, which is like, you know. But the older I got, once I started like smoking, like, for me, I think my body just like doesn't handle it or something. I don't know. I noticed the older I was getting, it just wasn't good for my body. Like, I would smoke weed and then I'd be like, what the hell? I'd have these thoughts that I didn't want to have about like my, like, it would just be negative thoughts. Like, my parents getting old, and then I think like, oh my god, like, I'd be one of those highs where it's like, oh my god, the world's so big. Like, just some deep shit I would think about, and I hated it, and that would happen all the time. But before, like, that was like the only bad thing that happened, like, when I was high. I just like didn't want to be high anymore at that point. I was like, ew. So after that, like, I didn't really smoke weed. Like I said, I didn't really smoke weed like that, but I would try it like a few times. I decided after that, like, once the older I was getting, like, I was like, okay, this is not for me. Like, no, I don't want to smoke anymore. So I'm at my friend's house. I'm like, okay, like, he smokes all the time, why not try it, you know, whatever. And I was fine because I barely like smoked any, because I know my body and I just like can't smoke anymore. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I just, the older I get, like, it's just, it's not for me. So anyway, I'm smoking, I'm like taking baby hits off of this little thing. So he had like this big ass bong. He had this big ass bong, and I like really didn't want to do it, but I was like, whatever, just do it.
Just do it!
So I took like a bong rip, and a bong rip, wow, that sounds so cool. I took a bong rip, and I was totally fine. Like, yeah, I was coughing, whatever, and I was fine. I hope, like, honestly, you guys, like, when I tell you this story, I hate talking about it, because honestly, if I think too much, I swear I have like PTSD or something from it now. I swear, like, this sounds crazy, but I swear I do. Like, anytime like I'm like kind of around it or think about the like that moment, I get like, and I get this feeling again, and it sucks. I'm like, never again. Okay, so listen. So I like take the bong rip, and I'm fine. It was just one, and it was a lot. I don't even think I like smoked at all because I have like baby lungs. So after that, I'm chilling, like, whatever, and then I remember putting on these like clout goggles, and all of a sudden it hits me like 5 minutes, like, oh, I don't know why I chose this as a story time, because my dumbass cannot talk about this, because I get like, it brings back that feeling. I'm just trying to, okay, I'm sitting there with the clout goggles on. 5 minutes later, I'm having like a good time, like laughing, whatever, and then it just hit me, and everything was like it felt like I was getting so, like, I don't know, like, his shit was just some good shit, I guess, because I have never been that high in my entire life, and it hit me so fast to where it was just like, literally, it just, like, everything I kind of zoomed out, and it was like what the fuck, like, and it it just turned, everything like went like out and slow. I was like, what the I was like, oh my god. I was like, dude, I'm not feeling good. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, closed my eyes. I felt like I was gonna throw up. It was just a bad time, and like bad music was like you know, being played. I'm like, I can't listen to this shit. It's giving me like a horrible vibe, and I'm like, oh, I can't. my friend was like, maybe the music isn't helping, and I was like, dude, like, you're right, like, it's really not. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm gonna throw up, and I felt so bad because I think this was like the first time I really like hung out with them, I think, and I felt so embarrassed because I was like, I'm gonna throw up, and I ended up throwing up, and I felt like shit. I still had like that horrible feeling. Then my friend cut me up some oranges and shit, and I was fine after. I was like, okay, maybe I just like whatever. So later that night I went to you know, got into my Google and shit, and it's like called Breanna now, I guess, where like you smoke, I don't know, I forget it, but it was like similar to what I had, to throwing up and shit. Too much weed, I guess, I don't know. The symptoms weren't as bad. Like, I kind of got like a weird feeling, but it was not as bad. It was just pretty much the only like weird thing I felt was just throwing up, and I was like, oh, and I just felt like really dizzy. And then, so after that, like I said, I went home, Google chip, and I was just like greening out or whatever, and I was fine. And then the next time I went over there, my dumbass smoked again, because I thought like, whatever, I guess I was just greening out, maybe I'll be fine this time. So what does my dumbass do? I smoke. But it wasn't even like a bong rip or anything crazy like that. It was just like 2 hits out of a bowl, and it was horrible. Like I said, I don't, like, my body just can't handle it, and especially that weed. Like, I know, like, he smokes all the time, so it's like, smokes good shit, because I just can't smoke that shit. So anyway, I take like 2 hits, and I'm fine, I'm chilling, whatever. Like, I'm like, okay, this time I'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. And then I get that feeling literally like 5 minutes later. Like I said, I barely smoked, like it was like 2 hits, whatever. So I get that feeling like 5 minutes later. It's always like 5 minutes, and then it just hits me, and then it was like that, and like I'm just so unfocused. Like, everything is kind of like not silent, but it kind of fades out, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I got like anxiety from it, I guess, because it's not a good feeling. Like, what the hell? Like, I guess I was like super high, I don't know. I was like, oh my god, that feeling's coming back. I had to close my eyes. I was literally sitting there, and it's like, I'm trying to talk to my friends, but I'm so focused on the fact how I feel right now, and it's like such a shitty feeling. I felt like I was gonna throw up again. My body was getting like hot. I don't know if it's from like anxiety or what, like, it's crazy. Like, my body was getting hot. I was like shaking like I was cold. I don't know. I just felt like really sick. So I went upstairs, I was drinking some water, whatever, and I felt fine for like a couple minutes. Then I would get the feeling back, then I felt fine, and I was like, luckily she lives like so close near me. So I drove home. I'm like, yeah, like I need to go home. Like, I feel like shit. This whole, like, I can't even explain the feeling, honestly. I think it's anxiety. And like some other shit, like just being too hot. I don't know. But it like really f***ed me up, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go home. So I go home, try and sleep it off, and I'm still like shaking, and I'm like, I just need to go to sleep like as soon as possible. This is the worst feeling ever. I don't ever want to feel this again. I'm like, oh my god, please, like, no, don't ever feel this way again. Don't ever put yourself through that shit. And I was like, I'm never smoking weed again. That is the day where I said, I'm never smoking weed again. So yeah, anyway, so I come home, I fall asleep, and then I wake up like 3 hours later, which, like, you know, your high is off by like 3 hours. Like, 3 hours is like your whole high, and then it goes away. After 3 hours, you should be fine, but I woke up like 3 hours later. I felt so f***ed up. Like, I felt like I was gonna throw up. Felt my body like burning, kind of like that burning feeling. And I was still shaking too. I was like, oh my god, like, what the f*** is going on? I was like, I cannot smoke weed again. But that's just my own little reason why I can't smoke weed. I mean, a lot of people, it helps them, and I don't know. So that's why I will never smoke weed again, because it f***s me up. I can't even be around it, kind of. I feel like I can, but I feel like it's just in my mind. Like, I swear, like PTSD shit, because I feel like if I'm like around it, I'll think back to that feeling that I had, and it'll just happen. And I'm telling you, this shit lasts for weeks. Like sometimes I still get it and I fucking hate it. Like the feeling, like I can be completely sober, not high at all or anything, and get that feeling if I like, I don't know, it's weird. Any bad thing, I get that anxiety feeling, and it's just like, what the fuck? It's weird. I never really had anxiety like that. So yeah, that is a story on why I will never smoke weed again. That's just my personal story. But like when I was younger, it was okay. Like I would always laugh and have fun with my friends or whatever. And the older I got, I just didn't like it anymore. I didn't like my thoughts. I didn't like what it didn't do shit for me, kind of. I just like don't like it. So that is why I will never smoke weed again. And crazy ass story time on my PTSD. But seriously, like I don't condone smoking weed. This was just a story time. And if you smoke weed, cool. If you don't, cool. This is just my opinion, my story on why I don't smoke weed and will never smoke weed again because of this shit. And yeah, this was a short story time, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was kind of different. I never really talk about the bad shit that I've done, but if you guys want to hear more bad shit and crazy shit that I've done, comment below, like, subscribe, comment, and don't forget, I do live streams every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 o'clock, like around that time. So now we'll see you guys Wednesday. Like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.